Tonight, the LNP's $42 million promise for Rockhampton netball.
An investigation after 2 miners were injured at 2 sites.
Water quality and security for the Central Highlands.
And a big uptake in RSV vaccinations for babies.
This is 7 News with Joanne, Desmond and Ned Balme.
Good evening, thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
Well, first tonight, the LNP has announced a $42 million plan for Rockhampton, promising new netball facilities and parklands if elected next month. Stage 1 of the sports precinct would see the delivery of top-tier courts to support grassroots sports.
Rolling into town in a big blue bus for a big blue announcement.
$42 million investment into the Rockhampton Sports Precinct, which will deliver 16 hard courts for netball. It'll deliver a new clubhouse and new facilities.
The netball community calls it a game changer.
We have over 5,000 members currently, and when our facilities are actually built, we can grow that number even higher.
After 2 decades in the pipeline, Council says this is the commitment it's been waiting for.
We see a growth sport in netball, and like we say, we've worked with them for many years to look for a new home for netball, and today is the day where that's finally come to fruition.
Plans for the new precinct at CQ University envision a bold and iconic development.
It's going to put Rockhampton on the map for many a state carnival and potentially even national events right here in Rockhampton.
The Rockhampton Netball Association is optimistic about the project's potential.
We'll be able to have so many more players, so many more teams, so it's just a great opportunity. So having something here, regionals, central to the whole of Queensland, is just fantastic.
Labor candidate for Rockhampton, Craig Marshall, also didn't rule out future support, despite not matching or countering today's announcement.
We've delivered $60 million worth of sporting funding in this election period, and we've also committed $5 million to do the scoping study for this facility. We wouldn't have committed $5 million for a scoping study if we weren't committed to following that through.
Nadia Lord, 7 News.
Another miner has been crushed by equipment, this time at Moorvale Mine. The worker, in his late teens, was struck by the rim of a tyre at 11:30 this morning and taken to hospital with leg injuries. The mine safety watchdog is now investigating 2 sites in the region. A 32-year-old miner was working underground when he was crushed at Broadmeadow on August 14. BMA confirmed operations are suspended while inspectors look into the incident.
Central Queensland is set for a major water upgrade with a nearly $6 million investment. The Central Highlands Drinking Water Supply Program is expected to revamp 2 treatment plants while supporting long-term water reliability for Bohenia, Capella and Rolleston.
3 levels of government working together to service 3 communities.
To make sure that they have that water security and water quality for the future. $2 million from the state government, $2.3 million from the feds and $1.6 million from the local council.
The federal funding is flowing in through the Water Infrastructure for Sustainable and Efficient Regions initiative, or WISER.
We really need to protect our water resources for the communities, the industries and the environment that depend on them.
Council says the project will see improved drinking water quality and reliability, among other benefits.
This $5.9 million water project is expected to generate 5 new jobs.
More than 1,000 people living in Capella, Rolleston and Bohenia will rely on the infrastructure. But in the lead up to the election, Water Minister Glenn Butcher says support for projects like these is at risk.
What is stark, though, is the support of water infrastructure in Queensland from the LNP. We have not seen one of these projects supported. We have not seen one announcement in relation to water policy.
The LNP says it would invest in water security based on planning and evaluation of future needs. Christian Penny, 7 News.
An uptake in free RSV vaccines is protecting Queensland children against respiratory disease and keeping them out of hospital. The Chief Health Officer believes it's the most significant health development in decades.
Queensland is leading the nation when it comes to making sure the tiniest and most vulnerable are protected.
More than 10,000 babies have now had their RSV vaccine. It's a $31 million investment.
That investment has made the vaccine free since April. At the time, 108 babies were diagnosed with the respiratory virus.
In the last couple of weeks, that's down to just 8. This is incredible.
Hailed as the most significant public health development in decades.
This is certainly one of the most important medical developments that I have seen during my career over the last 30 years.
The virus is common, but hospitalisations have almost halved compared to last year.
The most common cause of hospitalisation of infants under the age of 12 months in Australia.
The latest data from the state government shows out of 364 children under 6 months of age hospitalised since the program started, only 8 were immunised.
No, it's terrible. And it's terribly frightening. And anyone who's experienced this.
All babies less than 8 months old are eligible for the free vaccine. Josh van Staden, 7 News.
The site has been turned at Brown Park with construction underway on a 3,000-seat grandstand. The state government's $54 million project was conceived in 2017 and aims to put Rockhampton on the map for major football matches to help drive economic growth.
This is not just about football. We will see many other events coming to our region. We know that we would like to see more entertainment here in Rockhampton, and this is a venue that can host some of those things.
There's 13 motels within walking distance of here. And if we have a big music festival, if we have an NRL match, and it'll benefit Rockhampton.
Mr Marshall says construction on the stadium should be complete in time for the 2026 NRL season.
Queensland's timber industry is calling for reform, claiming it's been unfairly targeted for more than 30 years. Politicians, workers and stakeholders gathered at the weekend to demand action, with a third of the state's timber now imported from overseas.
It's a tall order hauling timber, but these stakeholders say Queensland's industry is a cut above the rest.
It's a $4 billion industry to the state and it supports 23,000 jobs.
250 people rallied for Timber Day, demanding urgent reforms in forest management. They say the industry is being unfairly vilified.
And what we're looking for is policy certainty for industry to reinvest in forest management.
They also argue current policies are outdated and damaging, including the South East Queensland Forest Agreement, which determines who owns what parts of the forest and how they are used.
Currently, 30% of the timber needs in this state are imported from overseas. Now, that's shameful.
At 51 million hectares, Queensland has the largest area of native forests of any state or territory in Australia. That's 39% of all native forests in the country.
Less than 4 million hectares are dedicated to state forests.
We remove approximately between 5 to 10 stems per hectare at between 15 and 30 years.
I think there's a good opportunity to manage our state forests, harvest the appropriate timber, but also maintain the environmental significance of that area.
Hannah Watt, 7 News.
Rockhampton is getting a bug-tacular treat with Stephen Gill's Let Me Explain tour. The show combines macro photography of Australian wildlife and Lego dioramas, with live performance exploring critters in a new light through images and Lego scenes. It's a mix of educational and entertaining experience designed to bring wildlife to life in a fresh and engaging way. Let Me Explain will be in Rockhampton this Friday at the Walter Reed Cultural Centre.
Frenchville Sports Club is nearing completion of stage 1 of its $20 million renovation. A new reception, bottle shop and gaming room are just the beginning of an extensive transformation.
After 5 years of planning and 6 months of construction, Stage 1 of the Frenchville Sports Club upgrades is nearly complete.
It's been a long journey, but exciting that it's about to come to fruition. The whole club is being transformed.
The new look facilities are part of the club's $20 million master plan.
The old Champions Bar is being transformed into a beautiful brand new gaming room, 145 game machines, beautiful brand new reception with state-of-the-art facilities.
The club CEO says it's committed to producing high-quality services that everyone can enjoy.
We have fantastic facilities, both sporting facilities and these licensed facilities for the whole of the community. This is a community-owned club that's been going for 76 years. We're all about the community.
Stage 2 will begin shortly.
all in all, the whole club will be transformed into something that I know that the whole of Central Queensland will be very proud of.
The new upgrades will be complete and open to the public next Thursday. Nadia Lord, 7 News.
Yeah, looks great. Well, ahead tonight, 50-cent fares to stay no matter who wins the election.
And the Kelpie Cross jumping at a chance for a new home.
Central Queensland turns to 7 News to keep up to date on local issues, and we want you to be a part of it. If there's something happening in your street, your suburb, we want to know about it. Send us a message or drop us an email.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Both sides of politics have committed to keep 50-cent fares going in their latest battle to win votes on October 26. But one economist says Queenslanders will have to bear the cost for a permanent discount.
Getting from A to B on Queensland's public transport network has never been cheaper.
We can lock in 50-cent fares permanently.
Labor and the opposition have pledged to keep the wheels turning on 50-cent fares, regardless of who wins next month's election.
Me, who's lived my whole life wanting to make this change, or David Crisafulli, who's only decided he supports it.
We've got a plan to make sure that every Queenslander can benefit from lower fares.
Since the trial began 5 weeks ago, light rail has recorded the biggest surge, up 35% on pre-COVID levels. Ferries were almost up 23%, buses 3.6%, while rail was just under 2%. Across the state, Mackay had the largest uptake, up 30%, with Sundays 21, Cairns 14, Bundaberg 11, while Rockhampton and Townsville were just under 10%. But cheap fares come at a price. It's expected to cost Queenslanders at least $300 million a year to keep it rolling.
It's likely to be more like $380 million.
And that's why we said yesterday, not only will we'll be back in those cheaper fares, but it needs to go further in terms of regional Queensland.
Frank Russo, 7 News.
CQ University student Mia Bradshaw has been named Regional Young Member of the Year by the Queensland State Emergency Service. Mia, who is in her second year of paramedic science, has been recognised for her outstanding work in training and emergency response. She's currently balancing her studies with roles as a student ambassador and volunteering with the SES. Capricornia's Area Controller Cheryl Bartz says Mia's leadership and professionalism made her a role model.
Well, this week's Pet of the Week has some serious spring in his step. Marley's a bit of a mystery cross and he's ready to bounce his way into your heart. And trust us, he'll keep you on your toes.
Marley's not just looking for a home, he's jumping at the chance to find one. This 2-year-old has a bit of a mixture, Kelpie, Dalmatian and maybe more.
Marley loves spending time with people, loves running around, is a very energetic dog.
A secure yard is needed because this pup is quite the Olympian.
Marley is a jumper, very energetic dog, and Marley is known to have been able to jump fences as high as 1.5 metres high. So whoever's looking to rehome Marley will have to have a decent height fence.
While he's friendly, he can be a little weary of strangers at first.
Obviously, with the right person looking after Marley and help train Marley, I'm sure Marley will get used to strangers very soon.
Last week's pet, Nora, renamed Minka, was adopted and is now a mascot for home caring, disability and aged care services. For more details on adopting Marley or any other animal, you can contact the CQ Animal Society, RSPCA and the Capricorn Animal Aid. Nadia Lord, 7 News.
Well, I think I'm officially in love with Marley.
Oh, so he's found a home already.
Yeah, it's just that quick.
Yeah, right.
Well, we love Marley. We also love sport, Luke.
All right, and the Seamers side has been named for their Bulls Master Defence.
Yes, we always love this time of the year, Joe. It's a mix of youth and experience, and they will head to Cairns in October. We'll have more on that next, as Clinton go back-to-back after taking out the FQPL decider in Gladstone. And welcome back to 7 News. Well, Clinton FC are the toast of the FQPL Central Coast Division after back-to-back premierships. The Gladstone-based side held off a spirited Frenchville to claim the Wesley Hall Cup with a 3-1 victory.
Clinton are the kings of the FQPL after defeating arch rivals Frenchville at Marley Brown Oval on Saturday.
Delighted. It was really good for the club. It was just fantastic getting back to back.
It was the Rocky side that came out swinging in the decider, scoring the opening goal, dominating the first half.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they went in with a deserved lead at the half time. They were a better team in the first half, but the guys knew we weren't good enough, weren't at the races. It's the first half.
But the half-time Oranges gave them some extra zest as Clinton resumed the match with much more intent, scoring 3 unanswered goals.
The second half was completely different. We started off very quickly and went on and obviously scored a few goals. Ended up being comfortable enough winners in the end.
The champions will now have a well-deserved break before they focus in on 2025 and the FQPL hat-trick.
We normally start January, mid-January. There's no point going back too early, no point going back before Christmas. So that's when we normally start, and then get a few warm-up games mid-February.
Brad Villiers, 7 News.
And in the earlier women's grand final, Central FC prevailed in an epic encounter with Bluebirds 2-1. Goals to Shelby, Vienna Hallam and Taylor Clemison helped the girls from Gladstone take a commanding lead that the Bluebirds couldn't claw back. It caps off a stellar year for Central, who also took out the minor premiership. The CQ Seamers have named their squad for next month's Bulls Masters Country Challenge following the 62 Sports Tournament in Rocky at the weekend. It was a big one for the Frenchville Falcons, who not only took out the 2-day carnival, but had several of their players in the CQ side, including skipper Joe McGarry.
Frenchville are the 62 Sports T20 cricket champions for 2024. The 2-day tournament also allowed players to vie for spots in the CQ Seamers squad to play in the Bulls Masters Country Challenge.
It's good. It's a great competition to sort of blow some cobwebs out for some guys that need it. Also to prove to selectors that there are some other people around the place that are worthy of selections.
The side will be led by Frenchville captain Joe McGarry.
Yeah, look, anytime you name captain of a team, it's pretty special, and I've been in this role for a few years now and love every opportunity.
McGarry took the CQ side all the way last year, culminating in victory at the home of Queensland cricket, the Gabba.
This Bulls Masters competition is the best country competition there is, and to have the opportunity to play at the Gabba, the boys be just as excited as they were last year to try and get back there again.
The new look side will head to Cairns in October, but McGarry is confident that they have what it takes to go back-to-back.
We do have a few guys that are no longer playing this season, which leave a few big holes in the team, but we've got some pretty exciting young cricketers stepping into those spots, so really excited to see how they go.
Brad Villiers, 7 News.
And Joe, that is the night in sport.
Great, thanks for that, Luke.
And stay with us after the break. Dani Sharp has all the weather details.
Good evening, Dani Sharp with tonight's weather. Fine and cool conditions have prevailed, and you should consider getting used to it. There are a few weather systems outside the region that have the potential to spoil the fun, and you might want to keep a jumper close. I'll tell you why in about 30 seconds. Before we dive into that though, a quick check of today's conditions. Temperatures hit a top of around the mid-20s for most of our region, a top of 23 though for Yeppoon, 16 to 25 in Gladstone, and 26 was the top in Biloela. On the satellite loop, you can see that big clump of heavy cloud over the northeast. Combined with gusty southeasterlies, that's causing constant showers from Mackay to Cairns. The southeast caught some of that late last night. Brief but intense. Wind basically brought the rain in sideways. Nothing for central Queensland though. On today's synoptic chart, a low in the Tasman Seas combining with high pressure to push a southeasterly wind surge right along the east coast, prompting marine wind warnings from McGarry to the peninsula. Tomorrow, that high pressure system will move a little closer, and it should generate enough power to get rid of these showers at least for a little while. But while things look calm, they will be cold, at least cooler than the September average. On the outlook chart, we're expecting a trough to move into the southwest on Thursday and move to central and southern Queensland by Friday, possibly lingering for a few days. Rain isn't too likely at this stage, but the heat will return with a vengeance. And now the latest from the Weather Bureau, the boating forecast for Capricornia waters sees around 1.5 metres dropping to 1 metre in the afternoon, with decent winds from the southeast peaking at around 20 knots. By Thursday, those gusts should really settle down, variable in the morning before building again in the arvo. There is a full moon this Wednesday, so the tide is naturally getting bigger, peaking tomorrow evening at almost 5 metres in Roslyn Bay, Gladstone close behind at just 4.5 metres between 8 and 9 p.m. It should be the highest tide of the week. The low is early in the afternoon. The Capricornia district forecast tomorrow looks like another fine and sunny one. Again, a little chilly though. Temperatures even falling to around 5 degrees in some parts near Billawheeler, and that's particularly further inland for our region as well. In the Central Highlands and Coalfields, we're expecting some frost in the Carnarvon Ranges tomorrow morning, which should lead to a mostly sunny day. Looking ahead for Rockhampton, we have another extreme temperatures really starting to build from here on out, hitting the low 30s by the weekend. That's all from me for tonight. Keep that jumper close though, guys.
Great, thanks for that, Dani. And that's all from us for this Monday. Thanks for your company.
A reminder that you can watch a replay of 7 News on 7 Plus or download the 7 News app. From all of the team, have a good night.
Good night.